It started with a smile and a home-cooked meal. Something warm, something comforting, something she said was made with love. But that love, like everything else in their life, was laced with lies. Meet Daniel Whitaker, a respected civil engineer with a penchant for home life and a deep craving for love after a painful divorce. When he met Elena Marquez, a stunning and nurturing chef in training, it felt like fate. She swept him off his feet with her cooking, her charm, her attention. He never questioned the meals she made or the sudden fatigue that washed over him afterward. Until one day, Daniel collapsed. What unraveled next was a chilling story of control, obsession, and murder by teaspoon. Elena wasn't just a partner. She was a poisoner. And Daniel wasn't her first victim. Welcome to True Crime Hub. In today's gripping episode, we uncover the story of Elena Marquez, a woman who turned every meal into a silent weapon. Daniel Whitaker had rebuilt his life from the ground up. After a messy divorce that left him with joint custody of his 2 children and a house too quiet for comfort, he focused on his career and rediscovering joy. That joy came in the form of Elena Marquez, a 34-year-old culinary student with deep brown eyes and a passion for food that felt infectious. They met at a wine and dine fundraiser. Elena was catering, and Daniel had been invited by a co-worker. She introduced herself with a plate of her homemade paella, and the rest was history. They began dating quickly. Daniel marveled at her culinary skills, calling her his personal gourmet goddess. Elena moved in within 6 months. Her warmth filled the silence of his home. Her laughter replaced his loneliness. Her meals, he believed, were healing his soul. But not long after that, Daniel began complaining of fatigue. Headaches, stomach cramps. He chalked it up to stress or aging. Doctors found nothing. Each time he improved, the symptoms returned. The illness shadowed him. He had always trusted Elena. Her cooking was a comfort, a reminder of simpler times. He never questioned her intentions. He never imagined that love could be a weapon. Friends noticed a shift in Daniel. He lost weight, seemed more forgetful, irritable even. He missed work more frequently, and his normally sharp memory had begun to falter. His coworkers grew concerned. He was once precise and punctual. Now, he arrived late and frequently asked the same questions twice. Meanwhile, Elena flourished. Her social media page boomed with food photos, lifestyle posts, and snippets from her new YouTube cooking channel. She presented herself as the perfect partner, the caring girlfriend who nourished her man with love and gourmet dishes. Behind closed doors, the picture was far more sinister. Daniel was rarely allowed to cook. Elena insisted on preparing every meal, claiming it was her love language. She'd be up at dawn making fresh smoothies, sautéing vegetables, perfecting sauces. The house always smelled of rosemary, basil, and something sweet. At first, Daniel adored it, but eventually, he started craving simple meals, comfort food, things Elena said were beneath her culinary standards. He once jokingly made instant noodles, only to find them thrown away and replaced with a quiche he didn't ask for. Control was creeping in, masked as love. Daniel's sister, Laura, grew increasingly concerned. During one visit, she noticed Daniel seemed dazed, slurring his speech slightly. He brushed it off as exhaustion, but Laura had a gut feeling. That night, over dinner, she saw something odd. Daniel's water had a faint shimmer, almost like powder residue. Elena had prepared the drinks. Curious, Laura made a switch, exchanging her glass with Daniel's. Hours later, Laura was violently ill. Though she didn't have proof, her instincts screamed danger. She confronted Daniel, who defended Elena fiercely. "She's perfect," he insisted. "She's keeping me alive." But Laura wasn't convinced. She began documenting everything. Every meal, every symptom, every visit. Daniel collapsed on a bright Saturday morning. He'd had Elena's smoothie, a mix of berries, kale, protein powder. They were heading to his son's soccer game. By the time they parked, Daniel could barely stand. An ambulance was called. At the hospital, blood work revealed severe arsenic poisoning. It was a miracle he hadn't died. Daniel was immediately admitted. The toxicology report showed elevated levels consistent with slow, repeated exposure. Authorities were notified. When detectives searched the house, they found a secret stash behind the spice cabinet. Small containers marked only with coded symbols. Forensics revealed the substances: arsenic, thallium, cyanide derivatives. It was a death lab masquerading as a kitchen. Elena was arrested without incident. She didn't cry. She didn't protest. She simply asked, "Is he okay?" As detectives dove into Elena's past, a dark history unraveled. Miguel Santos, her ex in New Mexico, died unexpectedly from cardiac arrest. He was 42. An autopsy showed enlarged heart tissue, but no foul play was suspected. Another man, Trevor Lee in Seattle, had dated Elena briefly. He recalled constant nausea, fatigue, and hair loss. At the time, he blamed work stress. Now, he wasn't so sure. Elena's laptop and phone revealed search histories that included how to poison someone slowly without detection, symptoms of arsenic over time, foods that mask metallic taste. She had kept a diary. Inside were entries tracking doses. March 4th, increased by 5 milligrams. He didn't notice. March 10th, reduced dosage. Needs recovery period. March 18th, is fading faster now. It wasn't just attempted murder. It was psychological warfare. Elena's courtroom demeanor shocked the public. She appeared calm, almost smug. Her defense claimed mental illness. They painted her as a troubled woman who was abused, neglected, and emotionally unstable. But the evidence was damning. Daniel testified, frail and trembling. Laura presented her documentation. Toxicologists explained how long-term exposure had damaged Daniel's organs permanently. Prosecutors portrayed Elena as a master manipulator, a woman who weaponized love. The media called her the Black Widow chef. In her closing statement, Elena said, "I loved him too much to let him go." The jury deliberated for 19 hours. Guilty, on all counts. Life without parole. Daniel spent 2 years in rehabilitation. He regained most of his physical strength but suffers from permanent nerve damage and intermittent memory loss. He no longer eats meals he didn't prepare. He remarried quietly. His new wife is a nurse. They live far from the city. Laura started a foundation, Silent Spoons, to educate the public about non-physical domestic abuse and poisoning awareness. Miguel Santos's family finally received an exhumation order. New toxicology confirmed he, too, had been poisoned. But with Elena already serving life, there was no new trial. Still, closure mattered. Psychiatric evaluations later revealed traits of narcissistic personality disorder and obsessive-compulsive tendencies. She was never officially diagnosed with Munchausen by proxy, but experts noted the resemblance. Food was her currency. Cooking gave her control. Poisoning gave her godlike power over life and death. She once wrote in her journal, "Cooking is creation, but even creation needs sacrifice." Elena remains in prison. She tutors culinary arts in the facility, but is banned from handling ingredients directly. Her story is a terrifying example of how nurturing can be twisted into manipulation, and how evil can hide in plain sight. Unlike other crimes, poisoning often leaves no trace. It mimics illness. It masquerades as coincidence. In domestic settings, it can be years before anyone suspects foul play. That's why stories like Daniel's matter. We must learn to see the signs. Chronic illness with no diagnosis. Sudden improvement away from a partner. Extreme control over food and drink. Secrecy, isolation, and dependency. If you suspect someone you love is in danger, don't stay silent. If this case shocked you, help us share Daniel's story. Like this video. Subscribe to True Crime Hub for more unsettling yet vital stories. Comment below. Have you heard of cases like Elena's? Do you think justice was served? And always remember, evil doesn't always come with a knife or a gun. Sometimes, it comes with a smile and a spoon. Stay safe. Stay aware. Stay alive.